Hello,
good
guys.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 3, and I have 2 guests with me.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
My name is Hannah and
My name is Sahana Tyagarajan.
Okay, so topic of today is basically the prompt is just like how does parenting or parent relationships with parents affect the growth and development of our children. So there is a specific reason why I chose my 2 guesses right here is because
my parents are basically very free.
my parents are semi-strict and
My parents are really strict, so
and I thought that it would be really nice to get kind of like 3 perspectives, you know? Okay, so first question, right? Just in general, how can parenting style affect the growth of children?
I saw like one of these Instagram posts about like strict parents raise sneaky children.
Yeah.
And I think
I've
it's
seen that.
really relatable sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the more your parents restrict you, the more you want to do it because you're obviously not just going to listen to them all the time and you want to have like opposing opinions and you sometimes want to carry it out with your actions.
yeah.
Can you relate to that?
No, like my parents don't let me close the door, but like they're really strict, and I can like hear their footsteps, and I can like differentiate which parent it is.
Yes,
or, like,
that's so
my
real.
brother.
That's so
like,
real.
Yeah, like that heaviness of the foot stepping is probably my dad, or like
Because
Yeah.
I feel like when parents they kind of nag their children so much or like it's like always complaining about like things you shouldn't do,
Yeah.
it causes a feeling that like, oh, I am gonna do it, so I'm gonna figure out ways to do it.
Yeah.
Compared to like parents that like aren't that like they don't say much to their
Right.
children about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the children they maybe develop like a common sense to not do it because they know that it's not
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's like
Can you, alright, okay.
Well, for me, it's kind of different because my dad thinks we have to be really respectful even in the house, and whenever he goes into my room, he always knocks and gets my like reply before he gets to open the door, or like if the knock gets too long, he just opens it, but like very slowly, and he's just like, Hannah, where are you? Something like that. But that makes me also want to respect my parents. So whenever I go into my parents' door, I always knock before I go in. And I think it's a really good habit to have because it's good for both of us, you know what I mean?
But like I would say like to contrast with Hannah, it's like my parents do not knock at all. Like bro, they just storm in and they just start saying whatever they need to say. And it's like wow, like you don't respect me. And I think like even though it's like disrespectful, I tend to talk back. Because it's like if you're not gonna show me respect, it's just like I immediately like just have the nature to like talk back.
Yeah.
And it's not like anything disrespectful I'm saying back. It's just like I'm responding back to you like a normal person would. Like
But then they get mad
Yeah,
that
and
you're
then-
talking back, right?
Yeah.
So if it's
like difficult.
like an unbalance of respect.
Because I think that we with strict parents, like we believe that like respect is mutual, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Of
but like
course.
for Hannah, because she's like raised up very like very freely, and like her parents knock on her door. It's like she feels respect for them.
So it's just like
Yeah.
a difference in households,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
So next question. Do we all have siblings here?
Yes.
Yes.
We all have siblings,
Yes.
right? I have one brother.
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
And I have one older brother.
Yeah. And so my question is like, how do you think growing up with a sibling can influence our growth and development? Okay, so I'll go right. Growing up, like my brother used to bully me all the time. Every night I would be screaming, crying to my mom. And as I grew up now, I'm like 15. I noticed that like I pick on my younger cousins a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like mirroring my brother's
Right?
actions.
Yeah.
It's just because I dealt with it when
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
little. So like, why shouldn't my younger cousins
Yeah.
deal with it? You feel me?
Yeah, I think that like that kind of says a lot because I make a lot of like mean jokes to my friends, and I like because I don't see my cousins a lot. It's like maybe once a year max. So like I like reflected on how I act towards my friends. Like I make like the most stupidest and annoying like jokes to Hannah, and like she won't get hurt, but like obviously it's mean. But yeah. What about you?
I think it has more like when I compare myself to my siblings, my older brother and I, well, all my siblings are older, but like closest age gap, we're very different, and our personalities are completely different. Like I'm so extroverted, and I like to like do a lot of things outdoor, but my brother likes to keep it really low key, and he also doesn't like people knowing about the things that he does, which is sort of like for me as well. I learned that from him. But then with my other older siblings, I feel like the background of them, like how they grew up, influences me, because two of my older siblings are entrepreneurs, and I think that kind of led the way for my brother and I to go into the business path. And like it's like naturally I just think that that's the way. So I think that's the biggest influence that they have on me.
So you said that like you and your brother have like different personalities, right?
Yes.
So what do you think like is like the difference? Because Sahana and I, we have like identical personalities to our brothers, but you have completely opposite.
Yeah.
So
That's like different though.
what?
Cause I'm like, I would say pretty much similar. Like I'm always trying to follow his path. Like
Yeah, that's me
remember
too.
he got grade 8 valedictorian. So my main goal was in grade 8 was to get grade 8 valedictorian, and like just trying to like
That's okay, me too.
Yeah.
I think we're basically similar, except like personality wise. Like academics, we always have the exact same GPA, always have the exact same grade. We study the same classes, we do the same things outside of school, but it's just like inside we're really different. Like how we deal with situations and how we react to them, like maybe to other people. Like I'm good at talking to other people, but my brother doesn't like talking to like people in public. And I think I don't know how and where that difference came from, but I think it's just we learn different things from our parents. And
Wait, do you think it's from your parents or from like the friends you guys surround with? Because I would say my friends influence me a lot.
Definitely.
So like, do you think that Dai would be like influenced because of his friends or?
definitely, yeah. Sorry guys, we're getting a drink. Let me get
Pause. Brief moment.
Sorry, guys.
1 minute break.
Looks
Should we do some ASMR?
ASMR.
Yeah, I don't know how to do ASMR. I don't have nails, bro.
Oh, they stacked me with the mango.
And I'm about to take one.
What was I gonna say again? What was I saying?
I think like differences. No, I don't want differences. It can be influenced by like our environment, but it's also very influenced by like our parents. Cause I know that I'm very similar to my dad, and my mom is similar. My brother is very similar to my mom, and the trait that I noticed that in common between them is that they're really social. They're really good at talking to people, and they're really like smart, like intelligent. But for me and my dad, we just kind of you're like yap with like no logic at all. You know, Jim Yaw? Jim Yaw? Like it's just kind of like you just go on and on and on, and like
Yeah, I think. What was the question again?
like
Differences?
the original question was like, how does growing up with siblings influence your opinions about your parents?
Oh yeah.
Do you favor your mom or your dad more?
Do I?
Wait,
what?
no, that's a good question. It's like, would you say you get influenced by your mom or your dad more? Or both?
A lot from both.
Yeah, a lot.
My
Sure.
parents are really different, but then if you know my parents, you know that I like have 50-50 of them both.
Yeah.
Like for example, my mom is really good at talking to other people, like socially, but my dad doesn't really do that, like to people, but he thinks really deeply and like logically inside. And I think I have aspects of that both. And also, going back to business, they also influence how I think about like the world and how I want to deal with my like future. I think what you grow up, like basically your entire family will have a big impact on you and your future decisions.
Would you say your mom or your dad influences you more?
I wouldn't say both. I'm like gonna be really honest, but because I don't know, me and my dad have like a really like complex relationship. It's not like anything bad. He doesn't abuse me, or no one abuses me, by the way.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like,
it's okay. You're safe, right? You're safe. You're safe. Okay.
No, but like the thing is, it's like he's like really into his work that I don't think like he gives me time for like just to take care of me. Like when I grew up, it was like really just him doing his work, and then he'd come back from work and I would just come back from school and we wouldn't talk. And it's like I kind of grew up in a way to like manage not talking to my dad. But like I would say my mom influences me because, you know, I talk to her a lot. She's like a really social person. Like your mom's, she's like really big in the Indian community. So like, yeah, she's like a
that's
big leader.
That's really relatable for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really grow up with my parents. Like, ever since I was really young, I would see them maybe like once or twice a week for like 2 to 3 days, and I get used to that. And I'm close to my parents, but I don't tell them a lot of like personal things.
Right? Yeah.
That's so real. I only get to tell them the really good things, or like just good things that happen in my life. But if I'm even just a tad bit sad about like maybe something, it shouldn't be personal because they're my family, but it gets personal. Like I just physically and can't, like mentally can't tell them.
Yeah, it's like I remember my mom told me this one quote, and she's like, it's not like a quote, but she said this sentence, and I was like, whoa. She's like, why is it like whenever you come home you show us like your moody side, but whenever you're with your friends you're like all jolly and happy?
That's so me too.
And she said that, and I looked at her and I was like, that's such a good question, because like I don't know, like I'm so exhausted from school. I go home and I'm just like, oh, like now I have to deal with you guys again, because they're always strict and they're gonna say something. There's gonna be like some sort of, they like to comment a lot. Okay, and they're like, oh, like why have you not like cleaned your room or something like that? So like it's just like, oh, I have to go home and I have to hear all this.
Yeah, because like as like when I go to like puberty and shit and stuff, like I get into a lot of fights with my mom.
Yeah.
And
go
like,
to where?
Like I get into a lot of fights. And I think that it's just kind of like in my mind, it kind of built like a perception of her that every time I talk to her, it's gonna be a fight.
Right.
So it's just like, you know, I saw this one quote on TikTok where it said like, you can't heal in the same place that you got hurt. Oh. So I think that's why that like how we feel about like our parents.
Yeah.
When we're so moody with our parents, but like so joyful with our friends.
But yeah, that's like good. Like yeah, that's a good quote. But like, yeah.
I don't. It doesn't really apply to me because I argue with my mom, like maybe like talking back at each other, maybe like 2 to 3 times a year. It doesn't happen that much.
Healthy.
I think also like, you know how when you watch in movies like your parents pressure you to do a certain job and you don't want to do it even more. Like when they make you do the same thing that they do, like forcefully, you don't want to do it. But if they're really free and they just like naturally show you the good aspects of it, you naturally want to follow what they do. I think that's also like free and strict parents when they like want to help you with your educational like decisions and stuff.
I have a question for you, Loany. Now that you've heard what Hannah's parents are like, would you, as like since now that you have like semi-strict parents, would you rather keep your strict parents, semi-strict parents, or would you have like parents that are like Hannah's?
So I have the option between your and
No, your, like, would you keep yours or would you keep Hannah's? Like, imagine you were just born today and you started off a new life with Hannah's parents though.
born today.
Okay, no.
Where are you born?
Honestly,
Cause like, I don't know, I asked myself that question and I'm like, if I had Hannah's parents, I just know I'd be so much more different. Like,
Yeah.
not in a bad way, not in a good way. Like, it's just like, I'd be a different person.
obviously there's like a lot of bias
Yeah.
because I don't have Hannah's parents and I have my parents.
Yeah.
But from a completely open perspective, I think I would choose my parents because like even though Hannah's parents are free and I would like that, I still kind of like a semi-strict parent because there's like you have some freedom but there's also like limits, so like you kind of like get that.
Yeah,
So it's like a liberal hybrid illiberal.
Illiberal democracy, hybrid
yeah,
democracy.
yes.
I feel like they limit me a lot. Like, one of the biggest limits is no sleepover unless it's at like my house.
Oh,
That's what
is
they
that invitation?
say the most.
Is that an invitation?
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, we love
I'll be
you.
coming. I'll be there. I'll be there, Hannah. I'll be there.
Goodbye, guys. It was a good talk
That's good,
today.
that's
I'll hope to see you maybe sometime in another episode soon. Definitely, you'll see Sahana, but maybe not me. Yeah. That was my guest appearance. Goodbye, guys.
Next question. Since we're on the topic of relationships with our parents, right? How do you think relationships with our parents can affect future relationships with like friends, or like
If you don't know Vietnamese, it means
like your partner. Yeah.
con cái nè,
Con cái là gì?
future kids, cousins, blah blah blah.
Oh, future kids, bro. I am
future
gonna
kids.
be so much more like. I think that like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'll be like in the future. Maybe honestly, cause like now I like listen to my cousins talk and they're like really rude, bro. Like they talk
Yeah.
to me like I'm like their friend. I'm like, bitch, no you're not. Wait, beep, no you're not. But like,
She just rewind it.
just sorry, beeped myself. But anyways, yeah, like if it pisses me off at this age, like I feel like when I turn 30, like I'll be pissed. Which kind of explains my parents like
Yeah.
like how my parents feel. But like I think that I'd be more like liberal when it comes to like
No, define liberal. Define
Sorry
liberal.
to cut you
No,
off,
it's
but you
okay,
know
it's okay.
sometimes when you're doing something with your parents, or like when your parents tell you something, you just like have that thought in your mind like, I would be such a better parent.
Yeah.
like oh I'm not gonna do this to my
Like-
kids.
Like I always think like, if I had kids, I wouldn't treat them like, I wouldn't say this to them.
Yeah.
Like,
think
it's not
that-
like not saying like my parents are bad,
Yeah,
but
obviously.
it's like you learn from it.
Yeah. But it's like even though we think that, I just feel like because we grew up with our parents, we're gonna be a bit more like them. Because because every parent when they have a kid, the first thought in their mind is like, oh my god, it's a mini me.
Yeah,
So
right?
I'm gonna raise them how I was raised. So like even though right now when we're 15, we don't think that we're gonna do the same actions that our parents did. Maybe in future we might, or like mimic them a little bit, because it's just how we were raised, you know.
No, because very relatable. Because whenever I go to India, we live with my grandma, right? And I'm just sitting there, and I see my mom and my grandma just backlash. Something just they're always saying something, and like my grandma always makes comments about like my mom, and I'm like, oh, that's why you're doing it to me.
Yes.
Because it's like the same exact things she learned at home. She's always like I feel bad for my mom when I look at her, because she's just like, she has to go through all these things that my grandma just like, my grandma just like destroys her, bro, and I'm just like, oh, I feel bad for my mom.
It's like you see yourself in that situation,
Yeah,
right?
like I'm my mom and my mom's my grandma. But yeah, it's like, it was like really like, yeah. But the thing is, my mom like calls my grandma like really bad words.
Oh. Really?
And I'm like, babes, if you're gonna do it, I might as well. Like, I might as well. Like, you better watch out, bro.
Oh no.
You pissed me off a bit more, and I'm gonna throw hands. No, I like, but like, it was really like rude, cause she was like calling my grandma, and she started saying these like random like Indian like words, Tamil words, and I was just like, wow. I stood up and I was like, Mom, if you're gonna say this to your mom, in the future, I'm gonna say this to you in front of my kids. And she looked at me and she's like, you did not just say that.
Bro, you better get beaten up, bro.
I did, in fact. Wait, no, I don't get. I don't get abused. I don't get abused, please. Mom, don't kill me.
So we talked about like our future kids, right? How about like our friends in the moment? Okay, I'll go first, right? I think, like, as... Okay. Oh. So, when I see my mom interact with other people, she's always, like...
I know
okay,
what's coming.
Okay, not in, like, a very mean way. Like, I love mama, right? But she's typically, like, kind of, like, bossy and micromanaging.
My mom is so bossy.
Yeah, right? But then... why am I seeing it in me? Like sometimes, like if I'm doing an activity with someone else, like I'm always like not like kind of bossing them, micromanaging, and like I notice it, and I'm like, bro, I need to stop. I'm being like my mom, you know? So it's just like, the actions, they get mirrored, they get reflected, you know?
Like, I think earlier Sana talked about like people influencing her. Like, I remember you saying that. But I feel like for me, rather than being influenced by other people, like personally, I feel like I influence them in a way.
Yes, you do.
You influence me, Hannah.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to vouch for that, because honestly, like.
Oh my god,
I'm getting choked. Guys, sorry. Bro, my mango! My mango I spilled.
Okay, what were you saying?
No, I'm gonna vouch for that though,
What was I
actually.
saying?
That you influence people and not people influencing you.
Yeah, I feel like I don't get dependent on the other people. Yeah, and I think that's from my mom being very, very, very independent and very, like, she's so boss. Like,
Girl boss.
She's literally always the leader. She's always the manager. And my dad as well. He's not like at the head of something like everyone knows, but he's always the mind behind everything. Like, I think.
Okay, wow. Bombastic, bro.
That was a burp. Whoa.
Yeah, I think my dad has the brain, and my mom has the very bossy, like
representation or like
like
public
like,
image.
Yeah, image. And I think that came together, and I kind of have those like traits in me.
May I take a mango?
Yeah.
It's like for you, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you can.
What about what? Oh, okay.
Okay. Moving on to kind of not completely, but I should have ordered some white people on the show. But my question was like, how do you think like when you raised in like different regions can affect your growth and development? But like, I know like we're in Asia and we can talk about Asia, but we can also talk about like the white people that we see in our lives, the black people that we see in our lives, or like the Latin people we see in our lives. So obviously this is like maybe like a low stereotype, but I always see like white people, they're raised so like more freely, would you say? Like they're on a much, not really friendlier, but like free level of hanging out with their parents and stuff. But compared to Asian parents, like for example, full on Korean academics, blah blah blah, full respect for them, no BS, no whatever. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree. Because my parents are both very Asian. Like compared to my parents, if I compare my parents, they're very Asian, and my dad is full Korean, and he himself was like raised himself. Like his parents were not around. His mom was, but I mean, what the fuck? My grandma was.
Hey, but what man?
What the beep? What the beep? Yeah, and then I think he learned from like his childhood that he shouldn't be doing some things to his children, and I think that's why he raises me strictly, but he doesn't like make me do things that I don't want to. Like he doesn't tell me, maybe he tells me once every like quarter or semester, you should study well. And I think from what I see of him doing just naturally without him telling me, I know that I should study well, and that's the right thing to do. Like, nah, saying.
Yeah.
No, I don't know much. No, joking.
The prompt was like
Oh yeah, Asian parents.
like difference between like Asian parents, American parents, white parents, black parents.
Haven't concluded. Yeah. Anyway, but my parents are Asian. Yeah. I think it depends on how your parents grew up. Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
not
the
really region, right?
ethnicity or like the
I agree.
nationality. Yeah.
It is quite a stereotype.
It's
And
just
it's like
it's
common.
a stereotype.
It is
but
common.
it's just how your parents grew up and how they think their children should be raised.
Did your parents get beat up? Like when they were a child?
No, but my dad lived alone since he was 15.
Like
Yeah.
boarding school?
Just living alone.
Yeah, like there's just these stereotypes about like Koreans and like Indians, like when they grow up, like as a child, they get beat up. Which
No, I think it's
not-
just my dad grew up in like a hard period in Korea, and that affects him.
Yeah.
But not really like his parents didn't really directly harm him. I think his dad did.
Yeah, what were you saying before I cut you off?
Oh yeah, my dad was very like alone, and he used to tutor other classmates and get that money to pay for his tuition, and he went to university with basically not paying at all. And
like
I think that's what I learned from like seeing what he's done. He doesn't tell me those. Well, he did tell me, that's how I know. But he doesn't like full on like bash on me like you should study hard, you need to get scholarships. No, he doesn't care. All he cares about is my happiness.
No, but like my parents are strict, and like they're very strict in fact. But I think like you, like I think they're not really amazingly like involved in they have my like school email, and they're like involved in my academics. Like yeah, they check my grades like often, but like they're not like, oh, study, why aren't you studying, like, oh, do this, do that, or you haven't submitted this assignment, and like why'd you get a bad grade. It's not like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, we're paying like 700 million, by the way, per person, and like thinking about that price and like thinking about how my parents grew up, it's just like, oh, like I kind of owe them my like time, my effort, my energy, my sweat, like everything.
Yeah, that's what I feel. That's why even if my dad doesn't tell me like to study, I feel like it's my job to do.
Yeah, because honestly, we're just given one purpose in life, like as teenagers until like 18, is to just study our bums off until we get to college, right? So especially the fact that we all go to international schools and we go to a good one as well, and we're paying 700 mil, so like I think that says a lot, you know. So like I just like work my bum off and I try to get the best grades.
One of the things my dad always tells me is, like, yes, of course he wants me to study well, and like if I'm gonna do it, just might as well just be good at it. But one thing like he definitely implies the most for my brother and I are like, if you get children in the future, like really make them happy. And like and sometimes whenever like he makes my brother and I, for example, we did not want to go to Jaga, by the way. That
Jaga,
golf camp was
Jaga?
not voluntary at all. He like forced us to go. But like at the end of the day, if I look back on the things that he sort of made me do, it's like it's all for me.
No, because you got new friends, new experiences from Jaga. So
like I was afraid of like
stepping
just,
out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, kind of. And I felt like every break I would spend time doing the same thing. But then I learned so many things from like new people, and like maybe there's like deeper reasons to why like your parents really want you to do something, and it's not because they just want to make you do it, but they really want you to like learn things out of it. And yeah.
Parents know best, guys.
Yeah, really. I never wanted to come to SSIS. My dad forced me so hard. Like, even moving out of KIS, I used to cry so much every single night. And like a month into moving out of KIS, I was the happiest ever.
No, bro. Like I wanted to get out of CIS as much as cause I remember 8th grade we finished. And so like my parents were like contemplating. They were like, oh, should we move Sahana to like another school? Not just SSIS. We were just thinking about international schools in general. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna miss my friends, but like obviously I'm not gonna do anything here in CIS. There's like no room for like academic growth. I was like the best there, and when I came here, I was like algebra 1, and like I got like set into reality. And it's just like I like really wanted to go to SSIS. I remember my mom was like, oh, go to Ishmik, and I was like, oh nah, I'm so scared of D2 kids. But like the moment I remember first day I went to orientation, I saw everyone that I followed. I saw you, I saw Hannah, I saw Ari, I saw Ellie, and I was just like so excited. I had my jitters, and I was like, oh my god, is that Hannah Lamb? Oh my god, is that Ellie Suter? Oh my god, that's Ariana Green. Remember, I sat next to Ari and I was like, hi, are you Ariana perchance? And Ari looked at me, she was like, yeah. But like, yeah, I just like loved my life for like the first few months in SSIS, and I still do. It's like much better than CIS though.
It's kind of opposite for me. I didn't want to move out of Ishmael AABN, but then because I had like a whole life there, because I went to elementary school with those kids for like 6 years.
I went to CIS for 8 years, but wait, did you not get tired? Because I got so tired because we didn't get any new kids, and it was like just really annoying, being friends with the same kids.
You think of like your old friends, but you also, the fear of having to meet new people, like doing everything new comes before like missing.
Like also like it also like kind of,
what am I even saying?
It kind of relates back to the fact that like how you were treated in your old schools. I had like not good relationships with my friends. Like they hated me for no apparent reason, but like still bad friendships, and so like I just wanted to leave the place. And that's why like I was so scared to like become close to just people here in SSIS.
Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. It's a good podcast. Oh my god, she's dabbing. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, three. Try podcast. 3,
2,
2,
what?
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Boom
Bye.
shakalaka.